Testimony shows that U.S. Attorney of Delaware David Weiss tried to bring charges in the District of Columbia around March of 2022 and was denied. Weiss sought special counsel status from the DOJ in the spring of 2022 and was once again denied.
The whistleblower also claiming that the IRS wanted to charge Hunter with at least 5 more felonies, and investigators were not given access to Hunter Biden's laptop, despite the FBI verifying its legitimacy in the fall of 2019. Joining me now is Texas Congressman, member of the House Judiciary, Foreign Affairs, and Education Committees, Nathaniel Moran. Congressman, great to have you this morning. Thanks very much. Where is this all leading?
Thanks. I tell you what, this is leading to a culmination of the American people really just getting sick and tired of hearing story after story after story of 2 tiers of justice in this United States. We've got a tier of justice for the Biden family and for those that they like, and then we have a tier of justice for everybody else. And we're seeing it in so many levels. We're seeing it here with Hunter Biden's investigation, which we really already knew, but now more facts are coming to light. We're seeing it with how Trump is being treated in the investigation that's going on there. We got it exposed even this week in Judiciary Committee with the Durham report, where you go back to 2016 and you just say there was no basis for that Russia-Trump collusion hoax that was brought up in the investigation that took place. There's simply 2 tiers of justice, and that cannot be the case in a democracy.
Well, you're on the Judiciary Committee. What can you do about it? I mean, we keep seeing the perpetrators get away with it. We went through several years of the Russia collusion lie. Nobody was held accountable. We've got a former president getting indicted while a sitting president's son is getting away with all of this stuff. The whistleblower also claimed evidence of Hunter Biden using the father's name to demand payments from a Chinese business partner. This is just incredible, the way that Hunter was writing this message to this Chinese executive saying either keep your commitment or face retaliatory moves from my father. He says, I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, this is what he's telling this businessman, you, Zhang, are the chairman. I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows, and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Congressman, Joe Biden told us umpteen times he knew nothing of his son's business deals. He's sitting there with Hunter while Hunter threatens a Chinese business person tied to the CCP. How do they explain this away?
Yeah, can you imagine the boldness of somebody doing that, sitting there right next to the president saying, hey, we need this money or we're going to come after you effectively? I mean, that's the weaponization of government. And back to your question about, well, what are we doing about it? Well, the Judiciary Committee is exposing it week after week after week. And we have our separation of powers duties to expose fraud, waste, and abuse. And then there's hopefully some justice on the executive side. But right now, the executive side is controlled by President Biden. So he's just trying to cover it up. One of the things that went through my mind about this whole IRS settlement with Hunter Biden to try to avoid jail time for him was, I wonder what Wesley Snipes would think about this at this point. I mean, they went after him so hard in a much lighter case. What Americans deserve and what they demand is equal application of justice, equal application of the law. We are not seeing that. We're bringing those things to light week after week in the Judiciary Committee. I think you're going to see more of that even in the Ways and Means Committee and in the Oversight Committee. We need an executive branch that is going to enforce those laws and start to prosecute those folks, though. These whistleblowers are key to that.
Yeah, but you don't have that at all, right? I mean, you don't have that. You've been getting stonewalled from day one, and you need a willing partner in the executive office, in the DOJ. And they're not doing anything about it. So can you do anything about this, or is this just going to go away?
I think what we can do about it is in 2024 get a new executive, and that's what we need. That's what America needs to be looking at. Is in 2024 as we build this case, those facts will be sitting there so that an executive branch in 2024, hopefully a Republican, can do something about this. And folks need to remember about separation of powers. I mean, the legislative branch can only go so far. We can't prosecute people. We can't go after people that are outside of the government. So we can hold people accountable inside the government, but that's as far as our duties go.
Sure. Congressman, thanks very much. Nathaniel Moran joining us this morning in D.C.